I just finished reading Amoura Ascending. This is book 2 in the Veiled Flame series by Kramer. This is a arc read that I got, so shout out to Meg for giving me a free copy to review. And I love this. I love the first book. Second book, I think I like it more, despite having a couple minor issues, and I didn't really have any minor issues or any issues at all with the first book. But I would say overall, I do like this one more. So, for those of you who are not in the know, YA, urban fantasy, protagonist Amoura in this witch school. It's been 2 months since the events of the last book. Some very bad stuff happened there, especially in regards to the purity champions who are witch ice, basically, trying to persecute witches they don't find right, so to speak. Their recruitment's going hard, and she rejected their offer to join them, and they forced one of her friends to join, and now it's just about finding how can we get this person out of there, but also infiltrating them to essentially do some spy stuff. The book's kind of a spy novel, which is really cool, and they're just trying to figure out their plans and try and fight back from the inside against this organization that's infiltrated their school and is kind of a plague upon the witch community. Just like the first book, it's so timely. It's clearly just like such a reflection of what's going on in America. And I know she did rewrite this whole book. It was supposed to come out like a while ago, like a couple years ago, and then she rewrote it and everything because of things happening, and things are not great right now. So she reworked this, and it's so timely, it's so profound and moving. And compared to the first book, which I think moves at a really great pace, but there is like a lot of like, hey, we need to like build the world and understand the rules of magic in this world and this thing and that thing. This it hits the ground running. This book is largely very fast paced. And it feels there's so much urgency, and the characters have such agency through like 90% of the book. There's some stuff that takes away their agency and their urgency just because they're students. They have classes to take. And I love the school stuff. I love when they have to go to class, and some of the stuff they're learning is really cool. The teachers are great characters. All the characters are great characters, but the book for the most part has a lot of agency for the characters, and it makes the pacing really fast, and it also brings like an intensity of like the stakes are pretty high, things are really bad, and we need to do X, Y, and Z things as the plot unfolds. That's really compelling. And again, it's like a spy novel. It's so cool. Like they're doing some like spy shit to trying to infiltrate this organization and see what they can do about this. There's such profound questions also being asked of the characters. This idea of a cage, of like, if you were not doing anything to stop this because self preservation, they're threatening your family or whatever, you're kind of boxing yourself and putting yourself sort of in a cage, but also like it's asking questions about activism and trying to fight back and the consequences of that, and whether or not you're boxing yourself in one way or in another. And the book very much has the stance of no, we need to take action, and also collective action. When people are united together, then that's how you fight fascism. And I think the book's messaging of this is clear and very powerful, but also I think brings the nuance of characters having some different perspectives, especially due to their circumstances being rather difficult and strained. Like the first book, I love these characters so much. Meg writes the best fucking characters. Amora is a fantastic protagonist. This book, unlike the first one where you get only her POV, the rest of the books in the series will tackle Amora's POV and someone else's POV. And this book is Amora's story, but it's also Beatrice's story, which is one of her best friends, one of the witch friends she becomes friends with in the first book, who gets forced under really bad circumstances into the purity champions and has to basically become a witch ice agent, essentially. And that's because of things you'll read about it. But it's very understandable. She does not want to be in there. And that story is so great and powerful in the arc that she has is fantastic. She gives like so many characters an arc, and it's a lot that she tackles, and she manages it so brilliantly to give characters we know from the first book an arc and really give them a lot of growth and a direction and their own story, even if we're not following their POV. And then there are new characters. There's a new student who gets introduced, Luca, who's fantastic, who is also an unwilling participant who's been forced into the Purity Champions. Fantastic character, a lot of really interesting stuff explored there. Characters that I loved in the first book get a lot of growth and exploration that's so fascinating, and some stuff that's completely game changing for the rest of the series moving forward. And then there's some great new teachers and antagonists that brought in. General Sato, shout out to him. He rocks. Spell Song, wow, I hate that teacher. Oh my god, she needs to die. um, she does a great job of like having characters you love. Some characters who are very complex and like there's a bit of gray in there, and then some characters you're just like, man, this person deserves to get killed. um, I actually had to walk away and do a lap around my house and get some water because I was so infuriated. This book is infuriating. This book will piss you the fuck off while also really satisfying you and being very cathartic for everything that's happening in the world, and especially in America if you're an American reader, but I think this will apply to a lot of other people from different countries because of a lot of the world is kind of skewing towards that direction. It's really bad, guys. It's really really bad. But I think the way she tackles the characters and the storytelling is just masterfully done. Regarding criticisms, because I do have a couple things here. There's one thing, and it's hard to talk about this stuff without spoilers, but there's one thing that happens where it's like we have to get from point A to point B, right? And this was somewhere towards the last stretch of the books, the final act of the book. And I think the answer that kind of paves the path to point B for Amora comes out of nowhere and is really coincidental and really too fast. And it's like I understand we're on the tail end of this book. We really got to get things moving so we can get to the end of the book. I didn't know how I felt about it. I got over it really quickly just because it was a minor thing, and the payoff of what happens and when she gets to point B and what happens for the rest of the book is really profound and really changes the game for what the story is and everything and for her character. And then the other thing is there's a spell that has a prevents people from certain people from saying certain things, and I thought the rules were a little flimsy at times. It's not that the rules ever broke. It's just some cracks started to show a little bit of like, wait, I thought the rules were this, but I'm a little confused because of you're saying a lot of stuff I thought you weren't able to, but you're saying you're leaving out some stuff because you can't say it, and I'm a little what is the rule on this spell and who you can talk to and what you can say, what you can't say, and who you can't talk to. That got a little, I think, a little messy, but it could just be me misunderstanding things, of course. But um, hey, regardless, I love this book. I can't wait for the rest of the series. This comes out at the end of the month. I'll put up somewhere where the date is because I can't remember. But hopefully, she can take your time, Meg. Take your time on writing these books, but also I really need season book 3, book 4, and book 5 because the plan for this series is 5 books, and I need the rest of the books in my life as soon as possible. I can't wait to see where all this goes. For me, you can check out my book Unfold. Completely different, not at all like this series at all, but I'm playing it anyways. Hey, workplace drama meets creature feature, slow burn, super violent. And every Sunday I post on Substack, so you can always follow me there and read whatever I have to say for the week.